In this episode, we remove the exhaust with lots of heat and hammering. We weld the pipes to repair them. It's all absolutely exhausting. Hi, I'm Darren, an untrained amateur who's determined to save one of the last of these classic cars. This is Roy, a 45-year-old 2.8 litre Vauxhall Royale coupe. When I owned one 30 years ago, they were rare. Now they're unknown. This is one of the last of its kind, and I'm going to rescue it and relive my youth. Follow the rebuild, watch this legend come back to life. Right, morning everybody. Today is a day to tackle a job that's annoying me. And it's the fact the exhaust is banging on the bottom of the car. Because it's just very irritating, and it also means I can't hear what is exhaust bang and what's other bangs, and you know, so it's got to be fixed. The exhaust has got to come off anyway because there's a slight leak in one pipe that needs a bit of a weld on it. I did try and take it off the other day, but it wasn't having any of it. So I've brought out the big guns to get some heat on the slip joints and see if we can get it apart. So it's going to see if I can try and get that off. Then that can go back to the workshop, have its welding done. And then there's still some wiring that needs to be buzzed out before the rest of some of the panels that I took out to do the original welding on the front. I need to sort some wiring out before I put those back and start to build the interior. It would be nice to sort of get to a stage where I haven't got a banging exhaust, I haven't got interior panels out. It'll feel a bit more of an achievement then. It'll feel a bit more like a car. It's also an absolutely filthy day. We've had a heat wave for the last few weeks, and today it's just decided it's going to rain. Welcome to Britain. So yeah, under the car is probably the driest place to be, and let's get under there and see if we can get this exhaust off. Okay, so I did have a go at taking this off the other day. So these clamps have been off. I just tried sort of running a chisel down the side of the slip joints and that sort of thing to try and open them up, but it was having none of it. So let's take the clamps off again, and we'll try a bit of heat in it. Yeah, so I did try moving these joints and running running a chisel down the side, but very little was happening. So let's give some nice heat to it and see what we get. Right, let's get these nice and hot. So I actually got some of it glowing hot then, which is not bad with this pathetic nat gas that you can't buy anymore. Yeah, the really good nat gas you can't get anymore. I haven't been able to get it for knocking on 20 years now. So this stuff is a substitute, and it's not quite as good. Not sure if that's moving or not. He's actually bending the box though, that's not good. Not great. That one's moving. That side's moving. It's only moved a little bit, but it has moved. That's definitely moving. That one's out. Brilliant. Right. It's coming. Crap. I've put a hole in it. Damn it. Oh, well, that's going to test my welding skills. Okay, that bit came off too easily because it was only pushed on here by about 1.25 inches, whereas it should be pushed on by about 2 inches. And that actually figures for what was wrong everywhere. If that joint was too long, the whole exhaust was moved back, and that's why all the bends are in the wrong place and why it's hitting in the wrong places. So let's see if we can perform the same miracle and get this other one off, and then we can put them on a bench, see where they're leaking, fix the damage I've done at that end where I've crushed the pipe a little bit. Maybe possibly it even needs a new back box. The back box looks a bit peppered. It doesn't look like it's got very much life in it. But we'll have a look at that. So yeah, I'm just going to pull this other one off, and then we'll take a look at what we've got. But that was rather encouraging that wasn't welded on, as in wasn't welded on with rust. So we'll see if this other one comes off as easily. This one does look a bit more on there. Okay, let's try some heat. Much better. Right, let's have a look at what we got. Well, that was a fun-packed episode of Large Man Grapples Around Under a Car in a Small Space. So, what have we got? So we've got some little denty poos there that need to be taken out, and that needs to be dressed back straight, but that's not a problem. I think this is where it's leaking. The box has gone down there, so we need to try and weld that. That must have been what I was feeling. Down there, you can see. So, but that should be easy enough. We can just put the air line on that, put some air in it, test it, look for leaks. This one wasn't leaking at all, was just in the wrong place. But I did hurt it taking it off. So that needs to be brought back out again. Again, that shouldn't be a problem. These parts are available. They're available in Germany and they are very expensive. However, this is where I did do some damage. Unfortunately, I put a chisel through it, getting it off. But it's also full of holes down there. So I might see if I can source one of them. It's always, I think it's something to do with the acid, but exhausts always seem to go from the rear end. And as there's a part number on that, see what I can find. But I think now it's over to the workshop. Let's drop the car back down again. It's not going anywhere now for a bit. So drop the car back down, over to the workshop, and we'll look at doing some repairs and see whether or not any of it is repairable. Because if it is, it'd be nice to put it back on. But I think what I can definitely say is that these joints at this end were not slipped on far enough. You can see in there where the blackness is. So that's where it was slipped in as far as. It should have been slipped in that far. Nigh on. It was actually slipped in about that far. So the whole exhaust, where it sits over the back of the rear axle, instead of being there, it was there. And effectively what that's doing is that's making it hit everything because it's just in the wrong place. It needs to be lined up properly. Okay, so what we do, first of all, we'll start by fixing the damage that I did getting it off. let's take it apart. I think the smart thing here is take it apart, weld it back together. Okay, so what I've done to get the hole out of that where I put the chisel through it, I've had to cut the pipe, cut the bracket off of it, cut the pipe, straightened out the bit of pipe, and now it's a case of weld it back together. So it's all cleaned up. Okay, sit rep. So we had some peppering in the bottom of that silencer, which I've plated over. God, could you imagine me doing welding like that right at the start? Wow, that is incredible. But hopefully that's gas tight. And that is that end there. I had a massive chisel hole in that. So I took that all apart and have remade it. It needs cleaning out on the inside, for which I need to bring the other compressor over to do that. So all that gunge in there needs to be filed out with the air file. But let's actually just put some air in that and see if it's leaking. Because if it's not, it just needs to clean up and it's good to go on. Okay, so I found some more holes in here. Basically what I've done, I've got the air line up the tail and I've got these ends blanked off. And we've got a bit of escaping air at this end out of the tape, but basically I can blow it up. Got a leak there. Yeah, so I've got a little bit here in that corner. So that needs a good grind down on the inside. I'll do that tomorrow, and we just need to put the hanger back together. Okay, so what we need to do now is get all of that weld out of the inside of the pipe there to turn that back into a pipe where that pipe was repaired. Once that's done, that will see that silencer ready to go back on the car. So yeah, let's get the power file on that. I've picked up an electric power file. It's only a cheap one, cheap screw fix job, but it has slightly larger and wider belts than my air powered one. So we'll give that a try. Goes against my theory of don't buy cheap tools, but Okay, it's going to be a long, slow business doing that, but I don't know if you can see there, but we are sort of getting there. It does look like a round pipe again. It's going to take a bit more. Leave me to do a bit more of this and I'll come back to you when it's done. Okay, so I've just dry fitted that section into there because that's where it's going to go on the car. And you see where that paint line is there? That's how far it went in. So I just put it in, gave it a quick squirt of primer. That's how far it was going in before. You can see from the witness mark there, that's how far it was inserted before, and it should have been another inch into it. And again, that is where the whole thing wasn't fitted together properly, and so it was causing it to bang on the vehicle. So that particular piece, that's the one that's got the hole in the resonator, so that needs doing. We've made the inside of this nice now. It's now completely round. In fact, I challenge anybody to tell me that that's actually been taken apart and welded back together. The key now is to get this bit to go into it, because we want to make sure this all fits together nice and loosely off the car, so that when we do it on the car, we don't have any surprises. It looked rather good, actually. So let's get that right in there. And that's where it will sit, roughly at that angle. So again, quick witness mark. Yep, so that's how much we got going into that joint, and before it was about that much. I'm happy with that. That is definitely a muffler, silencer, call it what you like, raised from the dead, because that had holes in the bottom which have been welded. We've put some air in it and it's not leaking. It's got a load of garbage in it which needs to come out. But good to go back. Okay, let's test the bit that I think is okay. So I think this bit's all right. That's fine. There's no leaks in that. Now this one we have got a problem. That's got it. That's done it. Right, 3 bits of repaired exhaust. Let's go over to Roy and put them on. Okay, let's see if we can get this hung together. This stuff is supposed to act as both a sealant and a lubricant. Both of which are qualities I think might be useful. Oh, that is so much better. That's about an inch further back. That was banging on there all the time. And we've still got some sort of side to side tilt there. If you do that up there too quick, you take out your ability to turn it there. I think we were doing that because it wasn't turned right. And it certainly wasn't far enough back. That's much better. Much, much better. Okay. Let's see if we can do the same miracle again. Right, they're hanging nicely there. Let's go down the back and see what things look like. So, all the exhaust is back on, it's all sealed up. We've just been for a run. It's driving a lot nicer. It's not hesitating now. When it drives away, it still sounds like it might be missing a little bit, but power's there, box is changing nicely. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. Thanks very much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and next time we'll do some electrical work.